Have you ever wondered why one defendant may receive a $5,000 bond while another defendant may receive a $250,000 bond? Let's break it down. When someone is arrested, they go before a judge for a bond hearing. Here's what most people don't realize. Bonds are not punishment because the person has not been found guilty. Bond serves two purposes only. Number one, making sure the defendant shows up to court. And number two, protecting public safety. And prosecutors do not set bond. That's the judge's call. But we can make recommendations based on evidence and the defendant's history. Judges make decisions on bond amounts based on guidelines set forth by the Missouri Supreme Court. By law, defendants in criminal cases are generally entitled to be released on bail, and judges must set the least restrictive conditions possible. Judges must determine whether they can ensure that the defendant shows up to court with parameters like GPS monitoring systems or house arrest, or if not, whether they need to increase the bond. Here's where it gets complex. Judges must weigh several factors, including the defendant's flight risk, public safety risk, criminal history, and jail capacity. The harsh reality is that the Jackson County Jail is overcrowded. Sometimes judges must weigh a serious crime against the limited jail space. It's certainly not ideal, but it's the system we're working within, and it's why it's so important to complete the new Jackson County Detention Center with additional space. Bond decisions are complex and can be tough decisions weighing on our entire judicial system, especially the humans that sit on the bench. It can be extremely difficult to determine a defendant's risk, especially if they do not have a criminal background. No one can predict what someone will do when out on bond. And unless the defendant is charged with a violent crime requiring no bail, they are generally entitled to be released on bail according to Missouri law. So do bond amounts look like for specific types of crimes? For murder cases, bond is typically set at about $250,000 and up. For serious felonies like robbery or assault, bond could be anywhere from $50,000 to $250,000. And lower level crimes like theft could be anywhere from $250,000 to $4,000. Again, it all depends on the specific factors we talked about earlier. So these numbers often fluctuate. There are also different types of bonds. Cash bond means the defendant must pay the entire amount of their bond up front to be released. Cash bond is typically used in higher level violent felonies with a defendant who is a higher public safety risk.